Okay, we're on.
All right. Hi, everybody. This is your elementary school principal team here to say hi and welcome you to the class of 2036. Uh,
You're up, Karen.
Great. So we are here to greet you, and I'm talking right now. Can you hear me? I have a time delay on my end. Everything I'm saying is coming through now. Do you hear that? Can you hear me in the audience?
We've got yeses. They can hear you.
They can.
Okay.
You're good. Karen, if you want us to take over, we can. That's fine.
I think I'm going to ask you to take over because myself is coming back at me after I say it, and that's not helpful.
All right. If anybody in the room with me hears myself looping or time delay, let me know, Ms. Dr. Marsher and Mr. Holding. Welcome to Kindergarten Natick. We are excited to welcome you to our elementary school family. Natick has 5 elementary schools, 4 of which are enrolling kindergarten students for this year. We're welcoming members of our Johnson community at Brown, Lilja, and Memorial. As I hope you will learn through this presentation, we all work together to provide great learning opportunities for our students. If you have questions throughout this information session, please enter them into the chat and we'll address them at the end of the presentation. And I'm going to ask that maybe you wait until about 20 minutes in, because it's very possible that we cover a lot of the information that you're wondering about. So I'm going to turn it back to Karen so she can introduce herself. Karen, you heard me? Yeah?
Hi, everybody. Karen Galani. I'm the principal over at Bennett Hemingway Elementary School.
My name is Aidan McCann. I'm the principal at Brown Elementary, as it says right underneath my name. Brown School is the home of the Bears. We have just over 500 students who attend Brown Elementary. And our assistant principal, her name is Becky Lipo. And Karen, I'm not sure if you can hear me, but if you can forward one slide, I still see the Bennett Hemingway slide. There you go. There's me, and there's Miss Lipo. And over to Dr. Marsher.
Lilja School is home of the Lilja Lions. We have a population of a little over 400 students. I'm Shelby Marsher. I'm the principal at Lilja, and our assistant principal is Jovan Buckmeyer. To you, Troy.
Evening, everybody. My name is Troy Holding. I am the proud principal at Memorial Elementary. We are the home of the Mustangs, and we have a student population right now around 433 students. And I'm wearing the same outfit in my picture as I have on tonight, it looks like.
You are. Ms. Galani, you let us know if you want us to continue or if you're ready to pick up.
Okay. Hey, Aiden, I'm having sound issues where I'm on time delay, so I talk,
Sure.
And now it's all coming back at me. So do you mind just doing the talking? I'll manage the chat box.
Yep, no problem. And I'll tell
Sorry.
you when to go forward too, so you know when to forward a slide. So Natick Public Schools has worked collectively to create and operationalize a clear vision for success in our schools. And I want to tell you a little bit about that. Next slide. We have something called a profile of a graduate. Profile of a graduate offers a look into the work that we do across all grade levels to support learners in developing skills that they need to be productive citizens. You'll notice that the focus of our graduates is based on competencies that will impact success across all domains. So that's academics and social emotional well-being. We work to support learners in developing the habits of mind that allow them to engage with new ideas and have the skills and preparedness to experience success. That's what we want for all of our kids. Next slide. There you go. All right. As witnessed in our profile of a graduate, the social and emotional well-being of our students are important influences in our programming. They're a major influence in our programming. In kindergarten, we work to create predictable routines to support students' availability to learn. Research has shown that these reliable structures reduce anxiety and help students to participate fully. We're embedding strategies from our previous work with the Open Circle program, which is a program that we used previously. That's a social emotional learning program. This, in concert with our new program called Everyday Speech, it offers us curriculum and tools to support learners across their entire day. This explicit teaching of strategies helps our students understand how to be part of a team. We have a few key goals for our students in kindergarten. These goals set the stage for a lifetime of learning. We work to establish the habits of mind, and these habits of mind are our goals are that our students are readers, our students are mathematicians, our students are writers, and they are problem solvers. Next slide. And I believe that goes to Mr. Holding.
Yes. So throughout the week, incoming parents, our students will engage in some extracurricular things such as art, physical education, music, and library. The students will have one special period a day, and it will rotate. They might have physical education on a Monday, art on a Tuesday, music on a Wednesday, library on a Thursday, and so on and so forth. During library time, our young scholars will listen to stories, they'll check out books and be exposed to books across genres and different topics. Physical education is an opportunity for our young scholars to develop their gross motor skills and conditioning skills in a very collaborative setting. And during music time, they will be allowed to sing and, of course, play some instruments. They'll improvise, they'll compose, and they'll get to arrange some music. And art is always a favorite, where they will focus on exploration of materials. They'll develop fine motor skills. They'll make connections to potentially influential artists and their styles, as well as children's literature. And across all of the classes, there's an emphasis on trying to do your best over the end result. And throughout these subjects as well, we embed social emotional learning. Next slide. Daily recess. This is always a young scholar favorite. When you ask them what their favorite subject is, they'll typically tell you that it's recess. Exercise and fresh air, we know, are very important, and playing with friends are also a critical part of their school day. Recess is a chance for the students to practice real-life social strategies, learn how to problem solve, and get along with each other. A morning break is given to our students, and an afternoon break is given to our students. And parents, it's important to know that we are outside all year round, so it's important for them to come prepared for the weather, and teachers throughout the year will give you friendly reminders as well on all of that. Next slide. So getting ready for school, what do we need to do? Starting with, I think that's you, Shelby, right? The screening? Is that me? Yes? Okay. Students,
Yes.
Go ahead.
Students come into the school and will meet with teachers to complete an early school readiness screening. This is part of our Child Find obligation. It helps us to know student strengths and weaknesses. The different schools are conducting these screenings during school hours across the upcoming months. So please get in touch with your school to find out the exact dates available to you. You are eligible to sign up for these screenings once you have completed your kindergarten registration. So please make sure you've completed the registration process, and then you'll be sent a link to sign up to the student screening. So as I said before, this information lets us know where your incoming K student is, and the results will be discussed with you, shared with you via a letter that goes home. Next slide. There is also a student orientation on Friday, May 5th. So all children will be invited to come into their respective home schools. The students will be walked down to K rooms where they will greet K teachers, counselors, a whole host of adults who work in each building, and they'll meet some of their future classmates. These are not the set classes that your students will be in. This is just an opportunity for them to become oriented to a K classroom. At the same time, parents will be invited to have a building-based orientation. You will meet your home school's principal, vice principal, nurse, counselors, and learn some of the more specific programming, faculty, and events that happen at your home school. And you'll have an opportunity to ask questions about kindergarten at Lilja, at Brown, at Memorial, and at Benham. Next slide, please. For children who have a language other than English spoken in the home, they will also be assessed for English proficiency. There is an interview form. There are some formal screening measures, and there will be a notification of English levels. What this does is it helps us get to know your student and what supports they may need or may not need in order to access our general education curriculum. Next slide.
So you'll find out about your child's teacher. You'll get an email on August 1st, and that'll let you know who your upcoming school teacher is for the year.
Kindergarten summer playdates. Each school's PTO, parent-teacher organization, will host playdates for the incoming kindergarten students. We really recommend attending at least one of these events, more if possible. It's a great way for your child to meet other children who will be attending kindergarten at their school. It helps them become more comfortable when they start school because they'll see familiar faces, and it's a great opportunity for you as parents to get to know each other and begin making some connections. We also often offer building tours for you and your child, so you can see an example of a kindergarten classroom, see the library, cafeteria, art room, some of those main locations. Those dates will be published through the PTO pages of your respective buildings over the course of the summer. They usually take place in August. The first 2 days of school, in Natick, we use a staggered start for kindergartners, where just half the class attends on the first day of school, and then the second half of the class attends on the second day of school. Both days are also a slightly shorter schedule from 9 to 1:30. And then on the third day of school, all kindergarten students attend school together with a full school schedule. This staggered start allows our youngest learners to adjust to a new school setting, and it allows us as adults to support them as they're learning their new routines. The first day of school is Tuesday, August 30th. So half of our kindergartners will attend on Tuesday, half will attend on Wednesday, and then all students will attend Thursday, September 1st. It's important to note that there is no bus transportation, early risers, or breakfast for kindergartners on those first 2 days of school. Next slide. The first 6 weeks of school is really an exciting time for your child. There's a lot of new things for them to learn and do. And with all of this newness and excitement, it can create a lot of exhaustion. You'll find that there are more meltdowns, more tears, more tantruming. This is really pretty normal. You should not be alarmed by this. And it's a really big transition, and things then eventually settle down. We'll reach out to you if we are concerned about how your child is transitioning, and you're always welcome to reach out to us if you are worried. Um, what this looks like for kids is that they come to school, they're working hard to learn, they're learning new routines, they're making new friends, and they're trying to hold it together and be their best selves for us at school. And then when they get home, they're just tired and they're looking forward to kind of being welcomed home to their safe space and showing their vulnerable selves with you. We do have counselors at all the school buildings who will be keeping tabs on your students. And again, they will reach out to you if they have any concerns. Next slide.
Right, I think that's back to me. I get to share a few nuts and bolts about kindergarten to help prepare for coming to school to us in September. And before I get into some of these nuts and bolts, I want to let you know that there was a question early on about is this being recorded? Yes, it is being recorded. We should be able to push this out to you later. So if you're thinking, I've got to jot all this down and I want to make sure I get everything on the screen, you don't need to do that. Not only is it being recorded, but we will also be sharing out this information again through letters and emails and updates between now and September. So you will see all this information again. School start times currently vary. So Benham, doors open at 8:05, and students are expected in their classrooms at 8:15, and the day goes to 2:41. At Brown Elementary, doors open at 8:20, students start at 8:30, and we go till 12:06. That's the same at Lilja Elementary, and at Memorial, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Holding, doors open at 8:40. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
And students are expected in school by 8:50, and the day goes until 3:16. Next slide, please. We're getting there. There we go. All right. There are a few yearly forms that are important for all families to sign off on. And the very first one that you'll probably hear about from us the most is PowerSchool forms. PowerSchool is our information management system that we use to keep track of everything about your child. So if you have not used PowerSchool before, that's where we keep your address and your phone number and your contact information and a lot of other important information. Each year, that system needs to be updated. It asks you if there have been changes to any of that contact information and anything else. So we do go through the process every year of asking you to update that. It is an important part of our year because families often do update their cell phone numbers. They do update contact information, email addresses. Those things do change a lot. And it is very important to us that we're able to get in touch with you. So I ask that you really pay close attention to making sure that that information does get updated each year at the time that we ask. And we'll reach out and let you know when we're interested in doing that. As part of that, you'll also be asked to sign off on a number of other forms, such as Google Apps forms, photo permissions, things like that. We'll ask you about extracurricular programs. We'll ask you to sign off on some other things like our school handbook, and all the things that you see on the screen right there. Next slide, please. In terms of communication, each week you will get an email from Natick Public Schools, and Natick Public Schools will have a link to each of our weekly newsletters. And so you'll have a Brown Elementary newsletter, a Benham, a preschool, a Johnson, etc. So all of them will be listed there, and you'll be able to click on your school's link and open up the newsletter. All of us want to just let you know that that is our primary form of communication. That is the way that we let you know about what's happening at school. If there is something that's highly important, we need to let you know immediately. We do have a system in place where we can email you and other members of the school community very quickly. But if it is our weekly newsletter and we want you to know about, for example, upcoming MCAS dates or what's going on in second grade, or we want to share some photos from third grade and the kinds of things that they're doing in class, this is really the opportunity that we have to do that. So we encourage you to look at that from week to week so you can see what's happening. Next slide, please. All right, you will hear quite a bit from us about Pickup Patrol, often called Pup Patrol. This is our system, our online system that we use to keep track of changes in dismissal plans, but it also helps us know if you are intending to keep your child home. You can put information into the system saying that my child is going to be absent and here's the reason why, or if they're going to be tardy, or if they need to be dismissed early. For example, if they're going to a doctor's appointment and they need to leave at 2 o'clock. You submit all that information into the system. We do not have a system where you would call into the school and speak to an attendance person and they would submit that for you. We would ask that you would use the Pickup Patrol system. Of course, if you did call the school and you need to talk to us, we will talk to you. We will take your call and we'll help you access that system. But this system is incredibly helpful for us to keep track of your default dismissal plan for students, and then if there are any changes. That system will let you set a default dismissal plan for your student at the beginning of the year. So you might say, okay, they're going to be riding the bus Monday through Thursday, but on Friday, I'm going to be picking them up. You can submit that into the system and then leave it, and you don't have to touch it again unless there's a change to that. And then you would just submit the change and say, on this particular day, Tuesday, they're going to be picked up and they're going to be picked up by their grandmother, and here's the grandmother's name. So that helps us see when students have a change in their dismissal plan. Very, very important to us. So we keep our students safe and we know where they are and who they're going with. You'll be receiving a lot more information about Pickup Patrol from us in August, because we'll send you an email at that time letting you know that here's the link to the system and this is when we would like you to go ahead and submit all that information. If your child is going to be taking the bus, you are going to need to sign up for the bus. If you go on to the Natick Public Schools main website and you scroll down a little bit, you will see a menu of icons like the ones there on the left, and you will see a little school bus. I think it is the 1, 2, 3, fourth one down on the right. You would click on that, and once you click on that, it opens up that page to the right. That has all the directions for you to be able to sign up for the bus. You would submit your information, and that would allow your child to ride the bus and get a bus pass. We do ask that students have their bus pass with them so we know that who they are and that they're on the correct bus. It helps us keep track of things. That system will also let you know what bus route they're on and about what time they're going to be picked up and what time they're going to be dropped off at the end of the day. That's important information to know. And I think there is one more logistical piece of information. Yes, food, very important to our children. They're going to want to know, when are they going to be eating? When are they going to be having snack? When are they going to be having lunch? There are a couple of opportunities for them to have something to eat. First, we offer breakfast every single day. Your children just need to show up. If that's what they want to do, they can come down and have breakfast every single day. Currently, our system is set and has been set for the last 2 years for students to get breakfast and lunch for free. I'm still not aware if that is going to be the case next year. I think that's still a little up in the air. We weren't quite sure if that was going to be the case this past year. And then somewhere around this time, we heard, yes, in the coming year, students are going to be able to continue getting breakfast and lunch. So we will find that out probably very soon. So it could be free, it could be pay, but when students come down, breakfast is a la carte. There are a number of different items that are out for students. They come in, they decide what they want. They take what they feel is appropriate for breakfast. They sit down, they have probably about 5 or 10 minutes to eat breakfast. If they don't have time to eat their breakfast in that window, they can bring what they have with them to the classroom, and we usually ask them to just put it away in their bag until later. If there's certain schools may have the opportunity for them to finish it in the classroom. Some classroom teachers do that. Usually students have enough time to be able to eat that. Students are also encouraged to bring a healthy snack every single day to fuel their bodies and brains. especially in kindergarten. It is important to keep in mind that we would love for you to pack them something that they can open. Oftentimes, even as an adult, I have trouble opening some of the little packages that students bring in because of the way that they're wrapped. If you can take a look at some of the things that they're bringing in and just make sure that they're able to do it themselves, that helps. Of course, we will always assist, and we go around at lunchtime and we're opening milks and different things like that. But if it is something that they can open themselves, we want to foster that independence. In terms of lunch, we offer a hot lunch and several other options. I think there is a salad option, there is a sandwich option, and I think that there's always a sun butter option. I think I got them all right there, I believe. Students, of course, can bring their own lunch from home. The menu is available online. So if you want to look ahead and see what your child likes and what your child might not like, because they choose to buy some days but not others, it is online on that Natick Public Schools website. And we do have designated allergy tables. So if your child has a specific allergy, our nurse goes in at the beginning of the year. We look at our allergy tables and we say, okay, these are the tables where students can sit, and we make sure they are well aware of where those tables are so that they're safe and that our lunch is something that students can go to and feel comfortable eating whatever they want to eat. All right, I think we're up to the last slide. It is now about 7:30. Thank you so much for joining us this far. And what we want to do now is we want to open it up to the questions in the chat. I will start looking through those. I'm still at the top, so I'm going to scroll down a little bit. I'll ask a question. Any repeats, of course, I'll get rid of them. But I'll ask any of the questions that are in here in the chat, and then all of us will just jump in and answer them as we can. Karen, are you doing that? Okay, I'm giving you control of that. Okay. Yes, this is going
Hi,
to be.
everybody. I'm still having sound issues, but if I log out, everybody goes out because I'm the host. So I am going to post the questions and I will type answers in the chat. Okay. Sorry.
Ms. Jarvis, yes, this should be recorded for later viewing, and we do plan to send this out. Oh, Ms. Balboni says right underneath that, yes, we're going to share this early next week. Thank you, Ms. Balboni.
We have a lot of activity built into our kindergarten day. There are something as simple as transitioning from the rug to student workspaces around the room. That's an up-down moment. We use resources like GoNoodle to do wiggle breaks. I see a lot of field trips on the first few days of kindergarten and throughout the fall where our kindergarten teachers are doing things like shape walks, scavenger hunts around the building. So our K teams are well versed in what is developmentally appropriate for children and really understand the fact that your students are going to need to move. So they are real magicians in making sure that your students are moving lots of different ways throughout the day while still focusing on time on learning.
This one depends on the building. So our number of sections are different from building to building. I'm going to have 5 sections, and they're probably going to be between 18 and 20 students.
And Memorial will have 4 sections.
Lilja will have 4 sections.
And Benham will be aligned with Brown. We'll have 5 sections of 18 to 20 students.
Yes, it is live. So when you are signing up for a case screening timeframe, you'll bring your student to your respective home school, and we'll take it from there with you. That is not changing. So kindergarten classes will continue to have library twice a week and PE once a week. But then as they move into first, second, third, and fourth, they will have library once a week and PE twice a week.
So this is something that Benham did a little differently this year because we have a second PE teacher. So we went to 2 full-time PE classes, and I thought that was universal. I'm sorry.
I believe we have 2. Yeah, we have 2 as well.
At Memorial, we only have the kinders only have PE once a week, and they go to library twice a week.
So as a team, that's something we should talk about and see if we can bring
Yeah.
consistency.
But I can say our teachers, like just to piggyback on what Dr. Marcia said, they're very good at identifying the right time during the day to kind of give our kids that need a little wiggle break a break and, get up and move around or take a walk or a nature walk or something of that sort. So they're really good at compensating for that.
Yes, we will still have you complete the screening. If your student, at least at Lilja, if your student attends Natick Public Preschool at Lilja, regardless of whether you're going to be a Lilja student, we will arrange for your student to come down with their class and their teacher and get screened during their school day. But we will still complete the screening for your student.
I believe we push out all of those K Playdate. We push that information out through our list of kindergarten families as well that we have on email.
If you take a look at our current newsletters, which you can find on any of our websites, there is a link to the PTO websites where you could choose to sign up for their newsletters as well.
And I don't know if the other schools are doing this, and we haven't talked about this, but I know that we will have PTO representatives on days that you're coming in for screenings or other days prior to the start of the end of this school year.
Us too. Yep.
The link for the case screening, that case screening is going to be live.
Yeah, but the sign up Genius will be pushed out once you complete registration. So
Yeah.
that should be coming your way soon.
And I'd say it's probably going to head your way in the next week or two. Depending on when schools are hosting. Like we're hosting right after April break, so we're planning to send it out early next week.
Yes. That information will be going out. Yep. So you'll be getting that from us.
Yes, that is a great way to get in touch with your school's PTO. I believe Ms. Balboni responded to this, but yes, these are the official school hours for the 23-24 school year. Any changes that happen will not apply to next year. We are simply in negotiations for the possibility of an adjustment for future years.
I thought I saw a question about Memorial. Do we have an assistant principal at Memorial? I just want to note that next year we will have a full-time assistant principal.
The first day of school will be August 30th for all students first grade through fourth and for the A cohort of kindergarten. So that's that half of the kindergarten class. The full school calendar for 23-24 is available on the Natick Public Schools website. So you can take a look there. It's always a good idea to look at all the half days. We have certain Jewish holidays, other holidays, get those into your calendar now. We would prefer you didn't.
Yep.
If you are going to exceed 10 school days consecutively, you will actually need to withdraw your student. So if you are planning a long vacation, please get in touch with your principal or admin assistant as soon as you know, because we will provide you with the steps that you will need to follow, depending on how old your student is. But it is really important for consistent education of our students. A week is a long time in kindergarten, and we don't want any of your students to miss out on the valuable learning and friendships that they're building during this time.
School calendar is currently available on the Natick Public Schools website. You will get information about who your classroom teacher is going to be in early August. It is followed up with information from the classroom teacher, and they are very likely to provide an email address at that time, which is a Natick Public Schools email address.
It's a little bit different at each building. The registration has been open already, and I believe it's open for about another week at this point. That's also slightly different at each building, and it's also not as clean as that. We have a number of other staff members who go in and out of classrooms throughout the day. So depending on the subject area, it might be the teacher with the full group, but for subjects like reading, math, we also have positions, interventionist and coaching positions, where there are additional staff that support buildings, the groups within the buildings as needed. So it fluctuates throughout the day. We have 30 minutes of recess at Lilja.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
One thing just about recess, and I'm not sure if this is true in other buildings, but we've kind of broken it into two sections so that there's a morning break and an afternoon break at Benham. So we know that stamina is something that we're trying to build with students. So we build in those breaks, reset them so they can come back and tackle their next task.
Yeah, it's something that evolves over time. I think in the fall, we certainly have a morning and an afternoon, and then it depends on the group of students as to whether we keep it broken or whether we consolidate it into a single longer break over the winter and spring.
We'll typically do a morning and afternoon.
I think all of us have it set so that breakfast is offered right as students come in. There's a 10-minute window between when the doors open and students come in and when they're expected in the classroom. Sometimes, for example, at Brown, students are expected in the classroom at 8:30. They might come in at 8:29. They're still going to have a moment to go down to the cafeteria, grab what they need, have a quick bite, and then go to their classroom. We do encourage them to have a breakfast.
Lilja Elementary is actually different on this count. We do have doors open a little bit earlier for students to come down and have breakfast. Yes. So if there is a discrepancy between what is reported and expected in pickup patrol and the actual attendance that is collected in the classroom, there is a robocall that is scheduled to go out. So you will be notified by an automated voice message to get in touch with us to either say, oops, I forgot, we're at the dentist, they'll be in, or they were sick today, or for us to resolve and figure out where your student is, because their safety is our priority.
Our doors are opened and unlocked as students are coming into the building at arrival. Those doors are supervised. So we have folks standing either close by or in those doorways as students are coming in, and we're greeting students. As soon as students finish coming into the building and arrival is over, we shut those doors and we lock those doors. We speak to our staff regularly about making sure the doors are not propped. All of our doors are closed from as soon as arrival is over until the very end of the day and students are leaving.
And along with that, as we get to know your faces, we will close the door on you. So, please don't take that the wrong way. But again, your student safety is our priority. So we will say, I'm so sorry, I'm going to close this door. Please ring the bell and speak with the assistant.
And you must have your ID when you do enter the building.
I can answer this one. We have a system where we talk to students and we want to help them understand that, their behavior is something that is a form of communication. And if there's something that they need, we'll talk to them about that. And we'll talk to them about the kinds of things that have just gone on. And most of what we're doing is we're trying to help them understand how to be at school. There are a lot of kids who come to school in kindergarten and they have been in school before. So they might know how to sit on a rug or walk in a straight line in the hallway. And some kids have not. And so they're just learning that. And if students need support in understanding what that looks like, we offer that support. In terms of discipline and behavior management, it's a progressive system, but really it's about helping students understand, what the expectations are.
And this is where our counseling staff is such a huge support. And recess is important. We are not taking away recess unless there's imminent safety risk. So, please don't be concerned about that piece. I know that's on a lot of people's minds. And you will always be informed.
I think that's going to vary from building to building, but I can tell you that Brown is going to be starting right around 9:00.
Same with Lilja.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll be doing the same at Benham. We'll do 2 sections. We'll have half come probably at 9, half at 10, and we'll try to get that information organized for everybody. And we'll send it out with the screening information.
And we start later than the other schools, so our time will start probably a little bit later, but it would be broken into 2 sections, and you will be receiving that information over the next couple weeks.
There are volunteer opportunities. You would have to get your Cori check done. So that is something you can do through the front office. If you bring your photo ID with you on any of these days that we're inviting you into the school building, the orientation days, stuff like that, you can fill out the Cori form then. It's good for 3 years. Other types of meetings, such as IEP meetings and things like that, are organized during school hours because that's when our teachers are available. And whoever is coordinating the setup of that meeting will work with you to find a mutually agreeable time.
And two times a year, there'll be parent-teacher conferences where you'll have an opportunity to sit down and really have some formal dialogue on your child's academic needs and successes, and also talk about some social emotional needs. But throughout the year, our teachers are very, very communicative. You can reach out to them at any time. And they do have a professional responsibility to respond to you, and they will. And if you need to set up a meeting with them, that's something you would discuss with them throughout the school year. But they're very communicative and very responsive to your needs.
Sure. We regularly do 2 types of drills. One that you probably remember from when we were all in school is fire drills. We do 4 fire drills over the course of the year. We typically do that in warm weather, 2 in the fall, 2 in the spring. I think you're probably asking for what beyond that. We do have something called safety drills. And we do safety drills on a regular basis as well. I believe all of us do at least 2 of those over the course of the year. And we teach our students how to respond if there were some sort of emergency event. The most important thing that we want our students to know as part of that drill is that their teacher is going to give them information on what they need to do, and that it's important to listen to the teacher in a drill or a real event like that. And that's what we really want students to take away from that.
Can I just add to that, that we also have school resource officers that we work with, especially each summer as we look at the design and the layout of our buildings to ensure that like we have accommodated for um, any potential issue, right? And we work with facilities and we work with police and we work with each other to make sure that our buildings are secured and that our kids and our staff and all of the people in our care are safe, because that's our number one job.
Yes. Yep. All schools have cubbies, and we really encourage you to send in extra clothes. The first day for kindergarten, for one half of kindergarten, and for everybody grades 1 through 4 will be Wednesday, August 30th. Everybody grades 1 through 4 will attend according to the school calendar from then on. On Thursday, August 31st, the second half of the kindergarten group will attend. So your kindergarten student will go either Wednesday or Thursday, and then everybody goes on the 1st of September, which is the Friday.
It is possible to share information with us that you feel is compelling that would be helpful for us as we do placement. We try to put together classes that are really well balanced, but we cannot guarantee a specific teacher or a specific placement for your child. We really do the best that we can to balance those classrooms and put together a group that's going to work for each child. There are restrooms in the K classrooms at Brown Elementary.
There are in most of the K classrooms right now. We anticipate being able to address that so that all K classrooms have one next year. Troy, I think you're muted.
Memorial doesn't have a bathroom in all classes. The school is relatively set up where there's a bathroom right outside of 2 adjacent classrooms, and there's an adult that will make sure that they get in there and then get back to the classroom.
And Benham has a setup where there's a bathroom in every K class. I can take this one. So, the morning and the afternoon recess. So kindergarten is a little bit different than other grades because kindergarten is not actually a compulsory grade that has to meet the time on learning minutes required by the state Commonwealth of Massachusetts. So I would say that the morning and afternoon recess usually runs about 20 minutes for each block for the kindergartners. And in the beginning, it's like herding cats, right? You have a collection of students that haven't been together and it takes time to get them out and then to get them back in. So it really does take a little bit of extra time.
Yes.
Yep, there are. We have field trips in kindergarten. We go off-site, and it's typically, I want to say they leave around 9 and they come back at 1 or 2 in the afternoon. So it's just like a field trip in first, second, or third.
Yeah, and at Memorial, we're fortunate enough to have a farm, the organic farm, right next door to us. So we utilize that as a resource. Parents can volunteer to help during the nature walks, which we considered a field trip. And on the lines of parents being in the school too, I had a thought. We do have a program that we call Mystery Readers. So once you have your Corey check, parents are welcome to come in and be a surprise reader to their child's classroom, which is always a very exciting time for your child when you do come in to do that.
30 minutes long. So again, that goes to providing food options that kids can open readily It helps them have enough time to eat.
In terms of what the day looks like, they will share with you, the kindergarten teachers, when we have the building specific days, more about what that schedule looks like. And most of those blocks are not, big 45 to 60-minute blocks. Often they're a lot shorter because we're 5. And so kindergarten students typically don't have a stamina for a block that's 60 minutes or 90 minutes long. So they'll go through the number of periods and what those periods look like, but they are shorter blocks. We do not have an indoor playground area. We typically use the classroom and take out games and different activities in the classroom.
And try to tap into the gym if it's not busy.
Yeah. And we do use Go Noodle too during indoor recess time, which is great so that they can get up. They also use programs that involve yoga as well. So our kids will do breathing exercises and have yoga lessons with some videos that we use. It's quite nice.
We really don't do requests for specific teachers. All of our teachers can teach all students. Our goal is to create balanced, cohesive classrooms where we see opportunity for friendships and representation. You can communicate about friendships that you know that your child has, but again, it's about creating a balanced classroom learning environment. You could send those to us, your building-based principal, and we will make sure that it gets to the placement teams. We don't teach Spanish as a language or teach foreign languages. If you're asking about English language learning, our EL program, if your child is screened and found to rise to the level of need where you would be provided with EL services, then yes, that does occur in kindergarten.
That we do have an after-school enrichment program called Global Child. Often Spanish is offered during that time. I can't remember if it goes down to kindergarten. I'm just not sure if it goes.
It does.
Okay.
Can I take this one? So every child's included in every event that's offered at kindergarten. No one is excluded depending on their level of need or support. Everyone's invited. So there's anything that's scheduled to happen off campus, on campus, it's an inclusive setting, and we just figure out how to make it successful to match everybody's needs.
Yep, we all offer music and art classes each week to all of our kindergarten students. All the way into the building is typically not something that we have our families doing. We at Brown gather on the basketball court outside. If it's a nice day, if it's not a nice day, we'll come into the gymnasium. We meet our classroom teachers there. And after they meet their classroom teachers and they say a quick hello to you, we do say goodbye to the students and they do go off to their classrooms. But if you are interested in taking a look and seeing what the classrooms look like or where the cafeteria is, we would encourage you to visit on one of the K Playdate days. I know at Brown Elementary, we do offer a tour on those days so students can come into the building and families can come into the building and see what that looks like.
And there is no breakfast. Remember those first 2 days for kindergarten. So your child's real first exposure is going to be, as Mr. McCann described. And then we have counselors, a variety of staff who are ready to help just scoop your child, get them down to the classroom. And I have yet to have a year where we've had a child who has had a meltdown that has lasted longer than the 3 steps it takes to start their journey down the hall to the classroom. So if you can put on a brave face, they will do what they see all the adults around them doing. And they'll have a great first start to kindergarten. Mr. Holding, I can't hear you.
It's typically an emotional day for parents. So I always tell them to wear sunglasses on that day.
I was just going to say that, Troy.
Oh, sorry.
Sunglasses are your best friend that day.
They
And it's
so
an all hands on deck mentality for sure.
Sure.
We can. That could be something that would create a well-balanced class, but it's not necessarily a guarantee. It's not just a given that they're going to get the same teacher that their sibling had.
We do ongoing assessments in a variety of ways. There are some more formal assessments that happen at certain intervals across the year where we are assessing early literacy skills, math skills, and then each and every day, our teachers are looking to see what your student is learning, performing, and how they are taking what is learned at each lesson and then applying it to the work that happens directly following the lesson.
Yeah.
Follow our newsletters. We always push them out through the newsletters. So if you read them, you will have access to all this information. The enrichment programs are typically do not start the first day of school. So you're not behind the ball in signing up for any form of enrichment program. They haven't been published yet.
And they do vary from school to school.
It looks like
Okay.
the end of our questions for now.
That is the end of our questions. And I'm so sorry about my wacky technology glitch tonight, team. You nailed it. Thank you.
There's one other question. Are there any technology requirements that we need to prep for students to use at home? No,
No.
we don't have any particular requirements in that area. And most of what we're asking students to do at a kindergarten level often is not a significant amount of screen time.
But if you are looking for something to do to help prep your child, please teach them how to zip their jackets. Please teach them how to wash their hands. You know, some of those really good self-help independence skills can really be a help to their teacher and to your student themselves.
Now, we didn't have the opportunity to see you live here, so I do want to speak on behalf of my colleagues too, that we are very excited to meet our new young scholars that'll be joining our families next year. And we're very excited to have a partnership with you for a very successful upcoming school year.
All right, we will see you at our building-based orientation. So if you have questions, then we'll be back.
Great. Thanks, everybody.